The CRUCIAN carp is one of the most challenging and exciting species of fish that I can fish for here in Sweden. In an attempt to better understand the behavior of the crucians, I have been doing some underwater filming. Did I learn a lot from this? Yes, I think so. But to be honest, it also raised a few new questions that I haven't really found the answer to. So now I have a few dilemmas that I will talk about in a few of my coming videos. And this is dilemma number 1. Where should I feed? Depending on what swim I choose in the lake, and also depending on how far out from the shore I decide to fish, the bottom is different. Close to the reeds, the bottom is more firm and the feed stays on top of the bottom. So when the fish feed, they don't stir around the rest of the feed much. It also seems that the fish can pinpoint what they want to eat and eat just that particle. If I fish further out from the reeds, the bottom is very silty. The bottom is almost in liquid form. Watch what happens to a ball of ground bait when it gets down to the bottom. It just disappears. If I feed softer balls of ground bait that don't bury, or if I cup in some loose maggots, the fish might stir up the silt and cover the bait. Even if the fish is some 20 centimeters above the bottom, it's like a big sandstorm moving in, and you'll never know how much of the feed is visible and still attracting fish. The feed that gets buried, does that still attract fish? That's one of my questions. Here is another fish moving in towards my bait. All maggots and ground bait seem to be buried already, but still the fish comes to my swim, and it seems like it's actually eating something from the bottom. So maybe the buried feed still attracts fish. This fish doesn't pick up my wafter though. You can also see that there are particles blowing in from the right, which indicates that there is another fish to the right of the camera. So even if all my feed seems to be gone, the fish will still visit my swim, and occasionally there is a fish picking up my bait. But more often they are close, but they don't pick up the bait. So out in the deeper water, with a soft bottom, I feel I have a low ratio of a hooked fish visiting my swim. When I feed closer to the reeds, I think I have a better hooked fish ratio, but they don't always show up there. As you can see here, the bottom is more firm and the feed doesn't get buried. And when I get the fish to feed here, they are more likely to pick up my bait.
Utan till eller? Nej, det verkar vara en rida. Ja, det var en rida. $39 centimeter. 1390. gram, 39 centimeter. Coola fiskar.
So where should I feed? In the deeper water with a silty bottom, where it seems more fish are visiting my swim? Or should I fish closer to the reeds, where it seems that it's easier to get them to take my bait, if I only can get them to find a feed? I usually feed both swims and then alternate between them, because sometimes the crucians seem to prefer the shallow water and sometimes they prefer the slightly deeper water with a silty bottom. Some days they don't show up on either of the two swims. But those days when they do show up in one of the swims, would they have come to the other swim instead if that swim was the only one I fed? If you have answers, thoughts or theories about where I should feed, please share those in the comments. Next time I will talk about what to feed and how much to feed. And while you're waiting for the next episode of my dilemmas, maybe you'd like to watch any of the other videos that I've made. See you next time, I hope.